Hey, what's good? Welcome to the Antonio Neves Show, where I remind you each and every week that no matter where you stand today, your story isn't over yet. The best is ahead. I'm your host, Antonio Neves. If you know me well, you call me Tony. I'm the founder of Allies of Glory. I am the author of Stop Living on Autopilot. And most importantly, I am a husband and I am a father of twins. Speaking of those twins, right now outside of my home office window, I can see them playing in the pool, and they are yelling and having a good time, being pretty loud. And I'm not going to stop them for this recording. So you might hear a little bit of family life in the background, and that's okay, because guess what? Life happens, and they're having a good time. And it's pretty apropos that I mentioned my family, because this episode has a lot to do with that. Today we're talking about life-changing events. Life-changing, life-altering events. And let me tell you a story about life-changing, life-altering events. A few years back, I was on the road for a speaking engagement. In a standard year, typically I'm on the road, 30 to 40 times speaking at different organizations across the country or across the globe. And I remember this one flight I was taking from North Carolina to Virginia. And the flight was delayed, and it kept getting delayed. It kept getting delayed for mechanical issues. But finally, we get on the plane. And we get on the plane, and we take off, and we're flying. And then something gets a little bit different. It gets a little bit odd. And what's odd is I think I smell smoke in the air. Now, look, when you're flying on a plane, one thing you don't want to do is smell smoke in the air, like when you're at 30,000+ feet. Now, if you're driving down the road in your vehicle and you smell some smoke, okay, you can pull over. But when you smell a little bit of smoke while you're in a plane, or what you perceive to be smoke, obviously your antennas go up and you get a little bit concerned. And that was the situation for me. I'm a guy that flies over 150,000 miles a year, so I haven't experienced that before. For me, when I'm flying, if we're going through some crazy turbulence or things are a little bit odd, my indicator, if things are going okay or if they're going bad, is to always look at the flight attendant. Flight attendants are really good when you look at them and their demeanor and how they're responding to let you know if this is just regular old turbulence or if you should be like, yo, this is something I should be concerned with. And there's only been a few occasions in my life when I've looked at a flight attendant and I'm like, yo, this should be something that I'm concerned with. And that day on that flight, I looked at the flight attendants and I saw real straight up concern. I saw fear in their eyes as it smelled a little bit smoky and we started feeling some aggressive turbulence. And then I remember seeing the flight attendant look for a book, a book and some manuals that I've never seen a flight attendant pull out before. And then I remember hearing the pilot come on the system and speak to everyone on the plane. And he basically said something to the tune of, hey, everyone, we're experiencing some mechanical problems, right? First, do you want to hear that when you're on a plane? No. We're experiencing some mechanical problems. And my brain went back to all of those delays at the airport due to mechanical issues. He said, we're experiencing some mechanical issues. What we need to do right now is attempt an emergency landing. Look, I write and I'm a coach and my ears, I'm a journalist. I hear things. And what I heard when he said that, the word that stood out to me was the word attempt. We are going to attempt an emergency landing. Again, words you don't want to hear when you're in a plane and they're talking about landing. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. I started getting a little bit concerned. And I looked around the flight attendants. I saw their concern. And I looked at my fellow passengers. And yeah, folks were concerned. And at that moment, in the midst of a bit of fear and concern, I knew that there was a couple of things that I needed to do. I pulled out my phone and we weren't low enough altitude wise for me to have any connection or any reception, but I knew I had to write 2 text messages. And this was challenging because I was writing these 2 text messages knowing that they may be the last communication that some people that I love may ever receive from me. The first text message that I wrote out was to my mother, and it was straight, succinct, and to the point. And it basically said something to the tune of, "Hey, Mom, I love you. I appreciate you. Please let my brother and sister know I love them as well. Thank you for everything." And I typed that up and had it ready to go. But then I had to write one more text message. And this one proved to be challenging and simultaneously very, very easy. And this one was going to my wife. And basically I said in this text message that I wrote, I said, "Hey, the flight is not going according to plan. I want you to know that I love you so much, and let our kids know that I love them so much. Please raise them to be loving, kind, hardworking, dedicated, disciplined children. I love you all so much." And I end that with Nevs strong. Nevs strong. That's how we talk about ourselves at home. We're Nevs strong. And then when we got low enough where I got reception and I got bars, I pressed send on those two messages. And I definitely felt extremely emotional as I sent that message to my mother and I sent one to my wife, not knowing what was going to happen. I remember pressing send and seeing them go through. I let out a big, long sigh. And then I kind of chuckled and smiled to myself and said, "Ain't this some shit?" Ain't this some shit? Even in that moment, I was like, man, come on, for real, for real. You know, you got to have humor even in those kind of moments. Well, breaking news, we landed. I'm here. I'm talking to you. We landed safely. Everything was okay. Now, we landed with emergency vehicles and lights flashing on that runway. And we landed at an airport that we were not going to, but we landed safely. And I made my way bright and early that next morning. I found my way for that speaking engagement. But the point of the story is those life-changing moments, those life-altering events that we can all sometimes, unfortunately, encounter. And that, for me, that experience being on that plane when I didn't know what the outcome was going to be was one of those life-changing, life-altering moments. We've all heard of those stories of people having those life-altering events when they get in a car accident and something horrible happens, or they get diagnosed with a terminal illness, or they lose a loved one, or they go bankrupt, or they get that pink slip at their job when they really, really need the income. Those life-changing events. And what I want to get across to everyone listening to this right now is don't wait for a life-changing event to live the life that you are supposed to be living. Don't wait until you get served divorce papers to start becoming that amazing spouse. Don't wait until you are totally disconnected from your children to now all of a sudden decide to try to get back in their lives and engage them. Don't wait until you're in there for that third bad review at work when you find out you're going to lose your job and you're not going to have an income to provide for yourself and your family. Don't wait for that bad health diagnosis. Don't wait to lose a loved one to wish that you would have told them how much you love them and how much they meant to you. Unfortunately, that's what so many of us do. We wait for these crazy moments that are external. They're not necessarily internal. But what I want to empower you to do is I want you to be the life-changing event. I want you to be the life-altering event. To be very specific, to be very clear, you are the life-altering event that you have been waiting for. I don't want something horrible to happen to you out there when we have the choice every single day to be the life-altering event in our lives. You know, us even being here on this planet, us being alive, it is a miracle. Let's not take this gift for granted. Right now, I want you to choose today to be the life-altering event in your life, to be the life-changing event. What can you do today to start to change your life for the better, to begin to alter your life for the better so you can go to bed tonight knowing you did what you were supposed to do? You have it within you. You know this. Now, when it comes to those life-changing events, when it comes to life-altering events, obviously we can't do those types of things alone. We shouldn't do them alone. I want you to know that right now in this point in your life, if you are looking for that life-altering event to improve things like your relationships that matter most, your parenting, your finances, your health, your fitness, right now is the perfect time today to build, to grow, and to get better with an ambitious and positive community of professionals like yourself, those folks who are married, who have jobs, and who have kids. It's time to reach your fullest potential. And you need that place. Let's be clear. We all need that place to ensure we are that life-changing event in our own lives. We all need that place where we can be encouraged, where we can be inspired, where we can be challenged to think different and pushed and called up. Not called out, called up to be the absolute best versions of ourselves. We need that place where we can help fellow leaders and change makers do the same things in their lives. Right now is a time for action in your life. Right now is a time, I know this is the time for solutions in your life. It is time to stop figuring things out and to make some brand new decisions and to commit to them. So many people, our mindset is this about, I'll get to it tomorrow. But as the famous Spanish proverb says, tomorrow is often the busiest day of the week. Tomorrow is often the busiest day of the week because so many of us are pushing things off till tomorrow. But I'm lovingly challenging you today to be that life-altering event starting today. Know that no one who has accomplished anything of significance did it alone. They didn't. They didn't do it by isolating. They didn't do it by disconnecting from others. They didn't do it by staying in the corner, figuring things out or drinking all by themselves in the evenings. And guess what? Neither should you. I want to invite you to check out Allies of Glory. It's an amazing membership community, a private membership community where professionals with kids get together to upgrade their careers and their personal lives. It provides the monthly trainings, the systems, the weekly challenges, the coaching, the accountability, and the community to help you upgrade the areas of your life that matter most, from your career to your relationships with your spouse, to your kids, from your finances, your health, your fitness, and beyond. It's a place where you can get better every 30 days. To learn more about that, check out alliesofglory.com. And even if you don't check out alliesofglory.com, I just want to remind you that you are the life-altering event, the life-changing event that you have been waiting for. You got this. Hey, I'll see you back here soon with another great episode. For more information on Allies of Glory, go to the show notes. For more information on this episode, head over to theantonioneves.com. If you haven't left a review or a rating for the podcast just yet, do so right now. If there's someone you know in your life that would get value out of this and that they need to be reminded that they are the life-altering event, that they are their life-changing event, share this episode with them right now. Smash that share button and share it with them. Hey, in the meantime, I want you to remember that the best is ahead. When you work and when you believe that the best is ahead, things begin to change for the better. Never forget, you have a say in this. You are the life-changing event that you have been waiting for.